good. The broadcast is live.
Hey there, this is Coaching You
Hi.
for You. I'd like to welcome you this evening and thank you for joining Stephanie and I to continue the conversation, life on life's terms. It doesn't change.
It
We
doesn't
do.
change.
And so I'm going to introduce Stephanie tonight, and I'm going to remind you guys that we're not experts. We're sharing experience, strength, and hope. We welcome you here at Coaching You for You. Stephanie has been with us. This is her third visit,
Wow.
and we are very, very happy to have her to have this discussion. It's not often that you meet people who are willing to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help them God. So I am incredibly grateful for this opportunity with Stephanie and with our audience here at Coaching You for You. And so I'm going to introduce Stephanie again. And before I do, one of the things I'd like to do is I want to shout out Latarsha Williamsburg from the African American Cultural Collaborative for a phenomenal weekend. A
Mm,
phenomenal weekend with phenomenal activities and people participating.
that was exceptional.
Reparations. Thank you for that work. And when you meet people, remind them that reparations is not a gift, it is owed
It
to
is old.
us.
Yep.
So when you see somebody in support of Italia, Mickey Armstrong, ask them to say the word reparations.
Yes.
Reparations. We mean business. Go
Yes.
get it, Italia. I'm proud of you, girl. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Hey, Annette, how you doing today, love bug?
Good, good.
Good. It's a really good day. I'm a little tired today, but I'm so grateful again that you invited Recovery is Essential back to have a conversation, to live life on life terms, to talk a little bit about it, and also to share some strength and some hope. And hopefully, somebody will get something out of this conversation, knowing that we suffer to get well, we surrender to win, we die to live, and we give it away to keep it.
That's right.
You know, Recovery is Essential, as I stated. I think some of you guys, let me just give you a recap. Recovery is Essential is a company that I started back in 2017, and we create safe spaces for those of us who are living a drug free, alcohol free, anything that makes your life unmanageable. Create safe spaces. We create safe spaces for anyone that wants to be a part of that particular life. Um, I am a woman in long term recovery from substance use disorder. This year, hopefully, God willing, I'll be celebrating 28 years. My clean
All
date.
right.
Yes, honey, I'm so excited about that. And I'm hoping, I'm trying to figure this out because of the COVID, because of the pandemic. We usually have a big ball, and that's how one of our safe spaces where we have this great big ball. And being
Okay.
that everyone is being vaccinated, I'm on the fence a little bit because a lot of us who are in recovery, we do have underlying health issues. So I don't really want to create, a space where even in that, if they come to the ball, they'll be unsafe because of the pandemic. So
Right.
ball is usually held the first Saturday of November, which is my clean birthday.
Okay.
At the ball, we have lots and lots and lots of fun, but I'm thinking we may not do the ball until 2022, God willing. That way we'll know for sure that the vaccine is working and we have really created another part of that safe recovery space for those of us who are living clean and sober lives. And as you stated last week, and I thought that was so key, it's not just free from drugs and alcohol. We're recovering from all sorts of habitual habits that cause
Yes.
our life to be unmanageable. And
Yes.
in those safe spaces, making sure that people are welcomed and they know that they can come in without any condemnation or any judgment. So last week was our kitchen table talk, Recovery Essentials kitchen table talk. And what we did was myself and Tibet Fenton, who was one of my team members, she and I had a conversation on how we relate being addicted as a form of enslavement. and how even drugs, and especially now that we're celebrating, it's not even celebrating, it's pretty much bringing into the awareness 50 years later, the war on drugs, which impacted the Black and brown community in a very pervasive, ugly way. So we talked about that at Juneteenth, a special edition that Recovery is Essential did at our kitchen table talk, really focusing on how our communities are inundated with drug criminalization, the criminalization of drugs, and how those policies have affected us in the most negative way. So that,
Disproportionately.
thank you. That's the word I was trying to get out. And
disproportionately.
Yes, and it was very, and it's right now. It has caused so much devastation in our community, especially in the state of New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, those of us who are living our recovery out loud, we're starting to see those ill effects, and we're hoping that we can band with organizations to help to bring that awareness out so people can understand. This is why we're looking at the changing of policies, and how policies that most affect us in our communities is so crucial for us to understand and get educated in that perspective, so that when you're speaking about the war on drugs, the New Jersey Policy Perspective just did a rally at the State House, and they did this wonderful report, this report that was done, A War on Us, how much New Jersey spends enforcing the war on drugs. And it's by Jenna Miller, who published it on June 16, 2021 in the Economic Justice Tax Budget. It's a great report. I haven't really gone through it yet, but I'm definitely going to go through it. But it also just highlighted how this work that we've done and are doing is so important, and especially for the marginalized community that have been most affected by these particular policies in relation to criminalization on drug abuse. And if you think about it, it kind of goes into this this whole public health policies that really need to be in place to really capture and arrest this disease that has really affected those of us in contained environments, i.e. Black and brown communities. Yes. So I'm really excited about that Recovery is Essential actually have the wherewithal and have the opportunity to participate in this, because back in the day, I remember I told you my story. I smoked. My drug of choice was cocaine, and therefore I was alcoholic, and it went into, because I couldn't afford cocaine no more, I started smoking crack. But today, when we look at this, now that we have this opiate epidemic, and how the opiate epidemic is being treated as more of a disease, whereas those of us who were a part of the crack population, how that was criminalized. So even bringing that awareness out, that those policies that were in place, the war on drugs affected us so much that it affected the community. And guess who were the victims of that? Was our Black and brown babies.
That's right.
So I'm hoping Recovery is Essential can, as I learn more, I gain more. I like you said, I'm not an expert in this. I am a person in long-term recovery who is very, very passionate about this particular disease, because I've seen how much it has devastated not only my life and my children's life. And thank God we are coming through. I always say we never came through. We are coming through, because I still see the ill effects of the residue. The residue that I left in my children's life, I can still see it in them now. And we're dealing with, my children are in their late 20s and 30s.
The war on drugs, as it relates to our community, notwithstanding the war against us, period.
Whew.
The war on drugs was meant to criminalize black and brown.
Yeah.
The justice system speaks to it in the unbalance. Mm-hmm. You can see how unbalanced it is when our Black and browns go to court and they're sentenced, and whites and others go to court and are sentenced. It's completely different. The opioid addiction And what it brought to our community is as a direct result of doctors getting rich and prescribing opiates to everybody. The other part of it has impacted other communities beyond ours in a
Right.
way that calls for some action.
That calls for some action.
That where was that action when my brothers and sisters were suffering in the streets from heroin
Exactly.
and opioid? Where was this help?
Right.
So the Calvary is coming in now to help because it's impacting them. It has impacted the medical community. As a matter of fact, I'm looking forward to some organization bringing against the lawsuit for our community.
Right.
And the impact that it's had.
And the impact.
We have to be real about what this thing is.
Right. And how it is, like you just said, how it is disproportionately
That's right.
imbalanced. And it's not to offend anything. It is the facts. It is the facts.
Hey,
And
listen, anybody who's offended can be offended.
Yeah.
Because the reality of it is,
thank you.
Those who are offended most are not suffering from the isms, the racisms, the socialism,
Right.
all of those things that impact us. That's a community and a commitment designed to keep us down,
right?
To keep us at the bottom of the totem pole, to keep us in a position where we cannot spring forward.
To spring forward.
Yes,
and we're always at a base of consuming versus developing. So therefore, we are not capturing the essence of what we know to be. We really know it. Historically, we have that. And I'm so glad you said that, because this was another portion of enslavement in our communities. And that's what we spoke about at our special Juneteenth edition at our RIE Kitchen Table Talk. And again, just like I said, creating those safe spaces where we can have these conversations, and these conversations can bring about at least an awareness that a seed has been dropped.
That's right. That's right. Open your minds and your hearts. Pay attention.
Yep.
Opioids prescribed by doctors it's pretty much the same thing that was on the street in the 60s that killed our communities off.
Yeah.
And it wasn't manufactured in our communities, which means somebody else did it and brought it in. Okay. The difference in this opioid addiction, Stephanie, is that the doctors brought it in.
Mm-hmm. The pharmaceutical companies played a great role in this. And again, like we have look at the wealth, the gap in that. We have doctors, pharmaceutical companies that are like trillionaires today. Billionaires. I'm not even going to say billionaires. And I'm talking about trillionaires, and we are down here thinking that we're doing something. And guess what? We ain't even hit the tap right now. And that's why I want to talk about it more. While we're having fun, living our recovery out loud.
That's right.
The organizations, letting them know that it's cool to be clean and sober, that you don't need to do these certain things to medicate or self-medicate to hide from pain. We could figure out better ways of coping. Partner with organizations and help organizations. Matter of fact, like you said, demand organizations, treatment centers, self-help groups, recovery support services, demand them to create projects and programs that center around the Black and brown community. We can do that. And I'm hoping Recovery's Essential is going to be a part of that. Like I said, while we're doing our talks, while we're having a good time partying, because I want to talk about the ball more or less, because the ball is so fun to me. I don't know if you see this. This is my little yearbook. Every year, this is our yearbook, right? Every year, we have our ball. We're going to do a yearbook where you can literally get in, and you look so good, and you see you having a good time at the ball.
Okay.
I thought about the ball, right, Annette, because we have enough ceremonies where everyone gets some type of award. And those of us who are in the fellowship, we get to get up and talk, which we need. I never tell anyone that I am the fellowship. I'm not. The fellowship is something that is most needed in the NAAA, Al-Anon, all that fellowship community. And I I've respected. That is the best fellowship ever in the world to me. However, I decided to have a ball where people can come and just have a good time.
And eat. You know, we like to eat.
Eat and dance.
Lisa's Catering did one of your events, right?
She does it all. That is the caterer of Recovery is Essential, honey. She does it all. She is the best. Do you hear me? She every year that we only did it 2 times, but each year she's done it. She has always had a just for RIE menu. And she all stops. You hear me? She does a special juice for us. She does all the hors d'oeuvres. She does the whole main fixings, and she set it up so beautifully, Annette, that most everyone.
What she does.
Yes, by the end of the night, it's nothing left. It's only like maybe a little thing, and guess what? People are scrounging to take the rest of that home. Elisa Robinson Carter. Elisa Catering is one of the best caterers, and I kept her with me when I first met her. And you know what? My higher power sent me to her.
Amen.
He sent me to her, and ever since then we have been connected. And she always, every time I say the first Saturday of November, she said nobody takes that Saturday but Recovery is Essential, and she has been exceptional with making sure that we had the best. And we have her, and we have Brian Parker, who is our creative touch. He's our videographer and our photographer. Mm-hmm. We have DJ Juice. And it's funny, I got a story to tell about DJ Juice. Everyone knows DJ Juice. He called me up one day. He said, sis, I'm doing your DJ. I'm being the DJ. I'm doing the music at your sober soiree. No, he said sober. No, he said you're sober, whatever you want to call it. And I said, okay. I said, but I'm Juice. It's for a sober party. He said, girl, I'm sober. I said, he said, sis, big sis, I'll be there. And ever since then, he's the official DJ. It's like God had my higher power had put all the pieces of this together so that when you walk into, we have the ball at the Masonic Temple, downtown Trenton. Mm-hmm. I also have Custom Affairs, which is a young lady that she's like my little sister. She helped me raise my children. And when I got clean, she stayed a part of me. Now she's an RN, beautiful family of her own, but she has a whole events type company. Mm-hmm. Sets up the room in that when you walk in there, you won't even know you're at the Masonic Temple.
We have so much talent in and around Trenton.
Yes.
But I'd also like to shout out Donna Welling.
Yes.
Go ahead, Stephanie.
Let me tell y'all about Miss Donna D. Now, everyone knows Donna D. Wellings. Donna is a great host. She's a playwright. She has produced several plays throughout the city, and it's all focused on young adults, the young children that she teaches over at Village Charter School. She has such a heart for our babies that she just did a care drive-by. Sorry, Donna. And we got into a caravan. It was all of her thought. I reached out because you know what we do in recovery. And I say, hey, I got to jump on board with this, Donna. She had us drive around the entire city, honking our horns, reaching out, calling out to all of the guys on the corners, all the young ladies, telling them that we love you. We love you. We just want you to stop. She now is doing a 30-day drug-free challenge. For those she is challenging all of the young folk. And this is and I know this to be true because the reason why I started the parties, because I lost one of my young men to an overdose. He wanted to just go out and have a good time. He just wanted to have a good time. And while he was out, someone slipped him a pill and it was laced with fentanyl. And he did not wake up the next day. And so that's when I thought we got to have something, a safe space for our young people to come and have a good time. And when I found out what Donna was doing, because she lost one of her young babies to the violent streets, because we know that, again, a lot of our children are self-medicating. They're self-medicating because the underlying issues here is some pain, some trauma that are not being addressed. So they are self-medicating. So therefore, they are doing some activities that are totally against the grain. And they're taking each other's lives. So Donna wanted to do this, to reach out to them, to let them know that we care. And it was such an event That whole day, we just drove from West Trenton, North Trenton, East Trenton, South Trenton, and came right back to West Trenton at the park, and we did an ending prayer. And it was the motorcycle guys with us. It was a few other people. It was just beautiful, and we followed her throughout the whole city, honking our horns. So shout out to Donna D. Wellens.
Yes.
For the drive. That was awesome. And now she's doing a 30-day challenge. And I'm with her on that too. And I told her, I said, when this challenge is over, she and I are going to go and celebrate. And we're going to celebrate sober together. She and I might say, you and I just drive around the city saying thank you. You know, and anybody else.
That's great. That's great. That's great. I just want to congratulate Donna. I knew her when she was a baby. Her father and I were friends. You know, we go a long way back. And so I know her and, you know, her mom. And I just want to congratulate her on taking the first step in making it clear that we're not going to normalize abuse.
Thank you.
And we're going to do something different. And so I just want to thank her for that. And listen, to all of the people who will pick up this podcast now or later, what doesn't apply, let it fly.
You know, Matt, real quick, I'm sorry. It's something you said, even with that, what Donna actually had done and has allowed, even saying, come on, recovery is essential, hang with me, is that we recover in community.
Yeah, absolutely.
We don't recover by ourselves. It takes a village. It really takes a village.
So let's talk a little bit about, I want to thank you for sharing your experience, strength, and hope, having gone through, come through, and gotten to the other side. I want to talk about a little bit more because so many people misunderstand recovery.
Yes.
And so we need to have that conversation and we need to talk about that. So go ahead. I'm going to give you a second. I have to step off and stop another recording that's going live.
Okay.
But go ahead. Tell them a little bit about what it takes.
You know, a lot of people think recovery is something that you just heal from automatically. They don't know that it takes time, and it takes, let's put it like this, recovery is time. I always tell people you can't recover from something unless you put the work in and you go through a process. For me, in recovery, I literally lost a lot. I always say that for the 19 years that I used drugs and alcohol, not participating in certain things, I began to lose not only the tangible aspects of life, I began to lose my life. So in that, I lost a good portion of my life, not understanding. And I thought I was having a good time by using and literally being rebellious and self-destructive and not really understanding who I was, because I was trying to mask who I was. I lost my life, and I lost a lot of. And so when we talk about recovery, I always say, you just don't recover. Think about it. You go through recovery. Recovery is a ongoing situation. It's not something that you just do and just get over. Recovery. When I say I'm in recovery, that is an ongoing time management, time discovery, time journey, time everything. When we say that, and that's one of the reasons why we list our days. We list our months, we list our years, because we are in recovery. And that's a lifelong journey. That's a lifelong journey. It's something that is just don't stop. It's a continuum. Because in recovery, and those of us who practice the 12 steps, we literally go back over the steps over and over again, because we come to find out that just because we stop the substance, the alcohol, and that has been arrested, doesn't mean that we're not dealing with some character defects that we need to continuously go through. I found out in my 27 years, like I told everyone from the beginning, I'll be 28. But in my 27 years, I had to look at selfishness, envy, jealousy, bad attitude, Being ugly on the inside, that means just being intolerable, non-acceptance. Because see, the serenity prayer asks us to accept. I was in a non-acceptance on a lot of things. I had to do self-reflection continuously as I was coming through.
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm coming through, even like we stated, living life on life terms. See, because life is not going to stop. Life is not going to wait for you to get it together. No, it's not. Life will throw something your way that you thought that you done gone. You went, oh, I went through therapy. I went through counseling. I went through my meetings. The next thing you know, life will do something. You have to step back and say, wait a minute. I thought I got over that. And I thank my higher power for the 12 steps, because that's literally the program that I use. But I always ask everyone, if you're going to be in recovery, you got to develop a program that you're able to deal with and do. You got to put the work in. You can't just think all of a sudden you're going to recover. No, that's it. No. Recovery. We are always in recovery. And what I want, that's what I want. Like I said, I lost my life, but in recovery, I won my life back.
Amen.
I lost my life for the 19 years that I was using. And you don't believe that when I look back over my life, I'm like, wait a minute, I used that long? Means that I lost a lot. So even though I'm 27, going on 28 years, and I should say 27 years, that's still not far beyond the 19 years. So a lot of my life has been arrested in that 19 years, unarrested. So I'm arrested now in the 27 years. I'm literally living life over again. And now that I've learned how to live life on life terms, I need to keep with my program so that Stephanie, won't cause myself to relapse. See, I can pick up right now today and lose everything. But I have to stay in the program in order for me to not lose. And that's a part of that.
And so living life on life's terms is about coming to grips with who we are. You don't have to use drugs to get to this.
Amen.
And so it's so important. And I keep bringing Stephanie back to it because I don't want you to misunderstand that recovery is about using drugs. It's not. It's about recovery.
It's about recovery.
It's about recovery, period. Drugs are a symptom of that.
Alcohol
excessive drinking is a symptom of that.
Anything
popping is just a symptom of those things. The reality of it is recovery is about dealing with the things that we must recover: our self-esteem, our self-confidence, our love for ourselves, loving ourselves from the inside out, growing and grooming from the inside out. Most people look at the outside. As a matter of fact, most men, if they're honest, would admit that they pick their wives and women based on how they look.
Appearance,
and then they wonder why there's so much failure.
Mm-hmm.
It's an inside out job.
It's an inside out job.
It's an inside out job in everything that we do. Hey, listen, this is Coaching You For You. See us on YouTube. See us on Facebook at Recovery Coach, at What Trenton Really Makes, and Coaching You For You. We will boost this post across the tri-state area. But I want to remind you that recovery is about getting better.
Getting better.
Recovering from the things that hurt you.
Yeah.
And so if you're not in a position to admit that you've been through some of the things that Stephanie have, then at least admit that there's some room for improvement in your life.
Yes.
And take some of those steps, one day at a time. You don't have to do everything all at once.
No.
As my tagline says, you don't have to be perfect to be amazing. You're amazing already. Just reach inside there and get that. If you're a liar, if you're a cheat, if you're a drug addict, if you're an alcoholic, if you're a criminal, if you're suffering mental health issues, get the help you need.
And it's out there.
The 12-step program can work in almost every area of your life.
Every area.
Whether you're a drug addict or alcoholic or pill popper or not.
Right.
in every area of your life. Those 12 steps can help you.
Yes.
Don't be afraid to take them. No matter where you are and what you're doing, recovery is there for you. Stephanie, what do you want them to remember about this 3-step process that you've taken with Coaching You For You?
That you can win. You can win. You can win. And you can live life on life terms no matter what, because you are a winner. And
because you're a winner. Wait a minute, Stephanie.
Winner. And I have to
And
say,
everybody knows the truth, so just keep on pushing.
yes.
I'll get a record deal soon. I don't want to hear anything from you.
I'm going to be the backup. I'm going to be your backup.
Thank
and
you,
the other
Stephanie.
thing is, real quick too, I want to let everyone know too. This is an old saying, and I love this saying: "Nothing beats a fail but a try." Nothing beats a fail but a try. And if you just keep trying, you will win. And every day I wake up and not pick up, I try and I win. And I want you to know that if it's possible for me, it is definitely possible for you.
Yes.
And there's no one exempt from recovery. Everyone gets to be a part of recovery.
Everybody has the opportunity to recover.
Yes.
No matter where they are and what they're doing. Everybody has the opportunity to recover.
Amen.
If that's what they choose.
That's what you choose. And if those of you, guess what? We're here when you're ready.
So tell them about Ray. Where can they reach you?
Yes, Recovery is Essential. You can contact me at www.recoveryisessential.blog. You can also text me. And I really encourage you guys to text me too. You can text me at 609-516-2132. And also you can go on our website and check out our wares. Real quick, Annette, I want people to know that when you purchase something from Recovery is Essential, there's money that goes into a pot, and we give out to community groups that are doing positive activities for children. So far, we gave up to $5,300. We still have 2 more programs that we're giving to. That's the Western Little League and the Little League. We're definitely giving them some money because I just love what those young men have been doing with the little leaguers out there doing the softball, what have you. They are so excitable. And I'm looking now at groups that for next year. So we are collecting donations. I just want people to know that I am going to give what was so freely given back to me, and that's my life. So I want to raise money so that we can really drop that seed of love to those who are doing positive things for children. And don't be surprised. This is how we do it. I watch you and I just show up with a check. You don't have to write.
So if somebody wants to give a donation, how would they do it?
They can actually send, they can text me at 609-516-2132, or you can go on my website, or you can inbox me on Facebook. I'm actually setting up all of those. That information is actually going on my Facebook page, and it will be on our website. So you would definitely be able to just go ahead and put the donation through. And we have been actually affiliated. Guess what? PNC Bank is now our official bank. So they're supporting all the efforts of Recovery is Essential. So
give us your website address.
It is www.recoveryisessential.blog. So
You heard that.
Recovery is
So I'm asking everybody, if you believe in recovery, if you have a family member who's been suffering, Stephanie has told you how to reach her. She's given you the website, www.recoveryisessential.blog.
Yes, ma'am.
Reach out.
Thank you.
Reach out. I want to thank Stephanie for being here tonight. I'd like to thank you for joining us tonight. I'm going to ask Stephanie if she will participate in a 6-person recovery story in July. That means that we'll come on live with 6 different people who will simply share for 5 minutes about how they made it through.
Amen.
I think it's important for people to know that recovery is possible.
Yes.
Recovery is possible. It's possible. Hey, listen, you don't have to be perfect to be amazing, but you have to believe in yourself. Amen. And so today from Coaching You For You, I'd like to say again, Atalia Mickey Armstrong.
Yes.
Say her name. And when you say her name, say reparations.
And get it done. She gets it done.
And get it done. And so we're going to be doing quite a few things through our Coaching You For You channel. We're going to start coming on live Sundays. I have a vegan vegetarian chef who's going to come on and show you how great meals can be without meat.
Wow, nice.
He's a phenomenal chef. He's good looking too. We'll introduce him real soon. We're going to be meeting up with Dear Sis. We're going to have a game live with 2 married couples, 2 singles, and 2 people in relationships, and 1 person who's not doing anything. And so these are some of the questions we might ask live. Who hurt you? What have you done to heal? Would you ever date someone outside your race? Why or why not? This is for men and women.
Wow.
Have you ever engaged in sexual activity with a person of the same sex? Could you be with someone who has? Why or why not? We're bringing it to you live. Dear Sis, Arthur, Nadine, Jasmine, and so many others. We're looking for Tanya Grant. She's going to be on live with us.
Nice.
The Browns will be in the studio virtually to have some of these discussions. It's going to be open, honest, and transparent.
Wow.
And then we're going to have a comedian on. I hope they'll let me sing when they come on. Who's going to tell some jokes. You see how excited I got? Who's going to tell some jokes and give you something to think about, but something to laugh about too.
Okay.
Life is difficult. I want to reach out to every person who's grieving today and tell you that God is already there. My prayers for all of you are on the way. Trust God. Whomever your higher power is, I choose God. Trust your higher power and believe that there's hope on the other side. God bless you. Stephanie, I thank you.
Thank
I'm
you.
looking forward to an opportunity to just give, a snapshot of what recovery looks like for so many people,
Amen.
whether it's drugs, alcohol, pills, incest, rape, the things we don't talk about, right?
Right.
But how we recover from them. There are so many people, boys and girls, suffering from incest, and it carries on. It's a generational curse.
Yep.
Typically, people are never assaulted by strangers. It does happen, but it's not the norm. It's typically somebody you know. We're going to talk about those things. They are difficult topics. But as we move forward and we talk about recovery, we're going to remember Stephanie and that recovery is essential.
Amen.
We're going to remember that we can reach her at www.
I was going to say it too. www.recoveryisessential.blog and 609-516-2132. You can text me there.
So tell me this before we go. Let's give them something. Let's give them something to talk about. What was one of your greatest lessons in recovery? Short and quick. What was it?
Believe it or not.
See, we didn't rehearse this.
No, patience. Patience.
That was a big lesson for you.
Yes, I'm a type A personality. I want it when I want it. I know you're gonna give it to me right now because that's me. But patience.
One of her biggest lessons.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, if you trust the 12 steps, whether you're alcoholic, drug addict, or not, I promise you're going to get something out of it.
Yes. And I had to learn patience.
Thank you for joining us this evening.
Thank you.
Stephanie will be back in one form or another because she's got something to tell you. Recovery is essential. We also have gifts. After the podcast, please hit up Coaching You For You. It's on Facebook. And tell us why you think recovery is important. And you will have the opportunity to win one of the gifts that Stephanie has provided for us.
Yes.
From Recovery is Essential. I believe in you, and I believe in your opportunity to recover, no matter who you are, where you are, and what you're doing. Even those of us who have had failed relationships, a biggie. We'll get to that soon, too. Thank you for joining us. Stephanie, thank you for your patience. I love you. I'm looking forward to talking to you, with you, sharing with you, and having you share your experience, strength, and hope.
Thank you. I
We're
can't
on YouTube and Facebook.
wait.
Hook up with us. This is one time we want you to put all of our business in the streets. Go get it, y'all. Thank you, Stephanie. Have a great
Thank you,
evening.
Annette, for having
I
me.
appreciate you.
Same
Good
here.
night.
Good night.